Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL Without Borders. We are back after a long international break. We have had a good, solid 2 weeks off from football, and I think it was mentally really refreshing, at least to me. Randomly watched a few international matches. Puneet, how was your international break?
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. It feels like more than 2 weeks, but it typically international breaks do give you that kind of a feeling. And yeah, all set. It is so much said that so much has happened, and they are ready to dive in, ready to share something special with you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So as we start, I'll go over a couple of changes that happened in the last 2 days, and I think which will set the tone for the whole conversation as well. So international break obviously was there, players were playing. So a couple of injuries updates I'll share at the beginning, and then we can go from there. So number one, and I think the biggest is Erling Haaland was forced off during the City's game against Bournemouth in the FA Cup, and he left the stadium in crutches. And we've had official reports. It's obviously not official, but he'll have scans. But it seems like a season ending sort of injury, and so he might be back after 2 to 3 months. Um, which is obviously important in the context of wildcard, which we will discuss. Chris Wood, also in his international game with New Zealand, he was forced off injured. Anthony Gordon, he is suspended for game week 30, so he will miss this game week as well. But even in the national game, he had a slight hip, not an injury, but I think it was a niggle or something. So, and Tuchel did mention that there's some bruising pain, and etc. So Gordon is, I think, a bit shaky there. Cole Palmer, there have been reports that he was back in training, but again, there's no official news on that. And then Mateta has been seen training with the team a couple of times, and Milinkovic is also not spotted in Everton training, so he's also sort of a question mark. So yeah, I think that's I think that sets up the conversation as well, and let's move forward. Puneet.
Yeah, I mean, so much, and hence I said so much has happened that mostly because of a certain Norwegian, I've pulled the trigger exactly at the deadline because I was contemplating it right about 6 hours ago, and the trigger for wildcard has been pulled because I could see with the options the kind of changes, the price changes I would have, the kind of team I was being able to set, even if I did like a -4, even I considered a -8 as well. And hence, let's get into the wildcard special. So, few um, points that we'll discuss. Firstly, for people who are just looking at game week 30 matchups, we are starting off with that. What we know as of current day, this is roughly around 11 and a half hours we are shooting before the game week 30 deadline. What we know about the upcoming double and blank game weeks, the core of Wildcard 30 team, how the team is looking like, and our very own trademark FPL EAGLE EYE, and then the team selection for the three boys on the pod. We've been doing this now for a few weeks. A lot of work gets into it. If you've enjoyed our content, if you feel this adds value, if it has helped you gain a few ranks, please do like, share, and subscribe. Right, let's dive in. Um, Game week 30 matches. Firstly, we would I have started now, and Arsalan, this is something maybe you also do quite often, is looking at Ropti's numbers and all the other odds, market odds that come out, then try to match up with how your team is looking like. Like, hey, like rightly in this, you can see City have three, and everyone hence had Haaland. Like I had Haaland because of this matchup, and not necessarily the last one. Have to have had to remove him with the injury news. So 3 goals predicted, again very high. Leicester have been, in fact, even with between the three bottom sides, to me now Leicester are the most targetable. Bournemouth
Hmm.
next at
Leicester has
240.
5% clean sheet odds, like 5% clean
Jesus,
sheet odds.
I don't know. I haven't seen lower. I don't know. Have you seen like a 2 or 3%? I don't remember seeing anything lower than 5.
I don't remember it. It's insane. I just noticed it honestly. Five. It's the only single, one of the only single-digit numbers in Ipswich as well to note.
Exactly. So yeah, so like between the three bottom three sides, right? Like you always have, I have always thought of Southampton being the most targetable, but now I think Leicester are quickly developing. So to me, that was the number which got out, and like you said, 5% odds on the other side, which is the defensive side. Arsenal, Liverpool, and City look like the most likely. Anything else from or anything that has caught your eye, just looking at game week 30 and not necessarily the wild card yet?
Yeah, the one thing that pops out is like the best teams have the best fixtures at home.
Hmm.
So Man City has Leicester at home, Bournemouth, which is a good attacking team, has Ipswich at home, Liverpool has Everton at home, Arsenal has Fulham at home. So I think top like five of the top attacking teams have really good fixtures at home. So that's like one thing like to target attackingly and defensively as well. Otherwise, I think what you said makes sense. Obviously, um, this sort of aligns as well. Like Man City, like what teams to sort of target, we'll discuss moving on as well. But this is like a very good ground that we're setting for the next 3 weeks because this is the theme, I think.
It's true. Also, just one point on Chelsea have a 2.3 odds, and we'll discuss that later with the fact that Jackson and Essence team Jackson and Madueke are back. So
Yeah.
uh, let's deep dive in. Okay, what do we know so far? One of the most common reasons why people have started wildcarding or have wildcarded or already have hit the button or anyway, like I think even with if you hadn't till now, you were planning to do it in 31. So that's a very important caveat to call out that people were anyway planning to do it in 31. It's just been pushed forward with the fact that there is news on the West Ham website that is that has come in, and with the fact that now there are double game weeks getting confirmed for Crystal Palace, City, Arsenal, and Aston Villa in 33. Like most likely, this is mostly 75% and plus that is confirmed, and hence the fixtures are looking like this with confirmed double game weeks for Crystal Palace and Newcastle in 32, 75 to 80% confirmed double game weeks for Palace, City, and Arsenal and Villa in 33, and a blank game week hence for those teams. And there is a definite double game week happening in 36 and a blank in 37. The teams are yet to sort of confirm out based on Champions League and other domestic competitions. What did you make of this, Arslan, when you first looked at it?
First of all, I was honestly not expecting a 36 double and a blank 37. So that's one extra thing that will keep lingering in your mind. Um, but I think it's good that we got some information before 30 as well. So a lot of people who sort of dead-ended their team around free hit, around blank game week, they have an opportunity. They have more reason to wildcard earlier. And then a couple of news that came out. So, and I think the fixture swings that are happening that do start from now. For example, if you want to target City from 31, you
Hmm.
might as well just do it from 30. Or if you Crystal Palace, like they have a doubles coming up. So and they also have Southampton right now. So it just makes sense to sort of just pull the trigger early, considering you know more about 30 and 34. And even if the fixtures that are not confirmed, like if the doubles aren't in 33, they'll be in 36 for the same teams. So you know which teams will double basically. It's just about which game week. So I think it's a good decision to sort of wildcard early as well. But it's not necessary. It really is team
Correct.
dependent, which we'll discuss, I think, coming up.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. It's not necessary and something to keep an eye out. It's just that I'm playing that, so this is a little more tilted towards.
No, no, 100%. And I think like there will be a very good divide between this week and next week,
Correct.
and the fixture swings will come with it because this week the fixtures are to target, and for the same players which you will need next week as well. So I think it's a very good window to pull it.
Correct. Yeah. And I think one of the you've given a right sort of segue into the fact as why did you consider a wildcard 30 versus a 31? So to me, when I sat down today morning, like this generally in the last 24 to 48 hours, I haven't considered it personally to hit. Obviously, after the FA Cup fixtures got over, I started looking at my squad, and then to me the bigger trigger was obviously the Haaland injury, because I had Haaland just specifically for these set of fixtures, and then knowing that there is a likelihood of 33 or 36 which could happen with him, and then that is one opportunity for you to climb rank, no matter where you are right now, right? Because you are now just hardcore chasing and you want to get that green arrow in most of the game weeks. So the few pointers which I considered which made me hit the arrow was one, knowing that there is a Crystal Palace and a Newcastle double game week confirmed in 32 and 33. uh, Knowing that there is an Arsenal double game week coming up, a City double game week coming up, and a Villa game week coming up. So hence, you can see the first block on your left topmost is that you could think about doing a 3x Newcastle, 3x uh, Palace, 2 or 3 Arsenal, 2 or 3 City, and at least a single Villa. It's also a lot of chip strategy. So now with the team that has come in and players uh, who have now already set foot. So, like for example, Saka, you know that um, eh, he's now ready to play at least a few minutes. Obviously, Arsenal are depending heavily on Madrid, but you know that he's ready. So you can see him. You can see Arsenal assets now becoming even more relevant 32, 33 onwards. Which means if you take him for so hence what that means is if you take him now, you can actually go in and take no transfers till 33. So points like these, and again with the chips that are remaining, so you can see the bench boost 32, 33, triple captain maybe an Isak in 32 because now there's no Haaland. Hence, who else do you target, right? There's no Salah, there's no Palmer, so Isak becomes a very likely option, and then free hit 34 because you are then planning for this team is also relevant for 36 and 37. These were my sort of building blocks and why I sort of hit the trigger. What did you make of it? Like, what have you sort of thought through about taking it now versus 31 wildcard or even later?
Um, I think like for me, how I was thinking was, can I field a good 11? A good 11 would have at least a City asset, would at least have a Crystal Palace attacking asset, and would have like Arsenal defense covered. If you have all of this covered and you can field 11, then I think you don't need to wildcard. But if you have at least two, like you have 2 to 3 injuries and your starting 11 is weak in a way that you're not targeting the main fixtures, which are like City at Leicester, Bournemouth, Ipswich. You don't have Salah, for example. If you sold Salah last week and Salah has Everton
Hmm,
at home, that's a I think very big trigger for you to sort of pull
correct.
early just because of Salah, because he could destroy you. So I think like if you have all these fixtures covered, then you can, and you have 11 playing 11, then you don't need to wildcard. But if any of these is not in your case, for example, if someone doesn't have Salah, pull it. If your Wood is injured, Haaland is injured, that's like too many reasons to pull it earlier. Um, One more thing about game week 30 is that you have predicted double schedules and you have predicted blank schedules. You don't have
Hmm.
confirmed news yet. And you
Great
will
point.
get confirmed news by game week 31 deadline, most probably, because like literally those blanks 33 and 30, I think 34, there are 19 days till game week 33.
Hmm. Yep.
And so they have only 19 days to announce it. And because the deadline is in 10 minutes, which means obviously the announcements will come after. So I think the last bit of information that you can get, um, that's the benefit of wildcarding in 31. But yeah, other than that, I think you covered it pretty well. And again, around that, you have to plan your chip strategy as well. Um, but in most cases, I think 30 or 31, you have to pull it. Even if you have your AM left, like there are too many chips to play in 2 less weeks. And like one more thing I'll mention. I think how many game weeks are left? 9 game weeks are left, right?
Correct.
So each game week is worth like 10%, more than 10% of your points now. It's very important to plan every week, very important, very properly.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah. That's a great point to look at how, and anyone who's watching or listening this, it's a great point to look at what Arslan's mentioned. Like if you are now considering the number of points you can gain in the last 9 game weeks, and each game week with the chips that are remaining, right? Like you have your bench boost, you have triple captain, you have people have AM. Like if you have AM, there is no point not doing it now at 31. There is absolutely no point because you have double of Palace, and Glasner is your targetable AM chip. So 100% makes sense. And just last one point, like I know we are talking about the game week 30 draft, but Saka is still, you don't know how fit Saka is.
Yeah,
So and he could become a massive asset for you, uh,
Saka is
closer
amazing.
to 30 to 33.
Saka is amazing, and with the fact that Arsenal have a double coming up, and it's a decent double. They have Crystal Palace at home and Ipswich away. Um,
Correct.
so these are good. And like when Saka is with the team, obviously the whole team performs better, right? They score more goals. Odegaard performs better. They're just better as a team, and their win rate is also better. So um, yeah, he would be mandatory. And again, the same conversations will come: Saka versus Odegaard versus
Hmm.
whatever Martinelli to save money, and you cannot replace Saka with any other Arsenal asset. I think, generally speaking, we'll see. But Saka is not needed right now.
Correct.
Uh, so we can wait for Saka till we get more information on if he starts with 30 minutes or 60 minutes, or how does the Madrid go? Do they win against Madrid or do they lose? If they lose, then yeah, whatever. There are a lot of permutations.
Makes sense. So with that in mind, we can move to the kind of players or the possible players you can consider for Game Week 30 wildcard. Know that we are now considering, or the chip strategy that we are going with, this is Game Week 30 wildcard, 33 possibly doing a bench boost again, like we said, because we are, or I am thinking of Game Week 34 free hit, and hence then you can target 32 for triple captain or 36 for triple captain. Again, personally, I was looking at Haaland, but now with Isak opening up and Haaland injury, that's the chip strategy that you follow. So 30 wildcard, 33 bench boost, 32 triple captain or 36 triple captain, and then 34 free hit. With that as your structure, um, these are the set of players you should target from now till the end of the season. In goalkeepers, you have Raya, Martinez, Henderson, Ariola, and Kepa, which is again City, Arsenal, Villa, Palace, West Ham, and Bournemouth. West Ham Areola 4.2 can be played in the as in the bench boost. Gives you a lot of funds.
Is
In defender
Ariola the cheapest playing goalkeeper?
right now, yes, I think he's cheaper than Bruggen as well, who's I think 4.4. So
Interesting.
Fabianski is 4.
But
So that's
West Ham don't have a double, right? Yeah.
they don't. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
they
But he
don't.
is a playing player in 33.
Correct. And I'm thinking of him as a bench boost, and I'll show you
Yeah.
my draft first, and that's something which I'm thinking when at least a playing keeper in 30 in a bench
Yeah.
boost, right?
Yeah.
In defenders, you have your three Arsenal defenders. Guardiol. I actually want to get your head on the City defenders. Guardiol, Munoz, Bowen, Livramento, Kirkes, Konza. Again, Konza being your Velasquez. The
Mhm.
three Forest, and then Van Bissaka, who I feel, or maybe even there I've seen drafts who have another. I think Kilman as one of the
Mm.
defenders as well. So,
No, I think this is the list. Like, I don't think you have to look out of this list, honestly.
do you do you not see any other City defender coming in this?
Um, no, man. Maybe Ederson, but even Ederson can see random benching the in and around doubles, especially. And Kusanov is like he's also
Oh
5
yeah,
million. He's 5 million. Like Diaz is also like I think he's just the worth the money, honestly, with the upside you get from City. Otherwise, like Ruben Diaz, we don't keep clean sheets. I don't think there's any point.
it's a great point. And in midfielders, it's Salah, Masaka, Clivert, Eze, Sar, Murphy. Murphy is a good call. Saves you a lot of money, 5 million, because there is an option for Gordon, but I feel he could save you money. Merino, Rogers, still no striker for Arsenal, so assuming
Mm.
33 Saka's back and Merino plays striker, it's an option. Rogers, Asensio, Rashford, Elanga, and Minte. Any calls for between Rogers, Asensio, and Rashford? Do you have a favorite? And this is for 33, but I know. Have you looked at Villa assets?
Rogers, Asensio, and Rashford. That's a
Yeah,
Villa is a difficult one, and especially because they have Champions League matches in and around. Like their fixture is very congested. Around their double, they have the Champions League matches against PSG as well, which is a very draining game. Like you
correct.
have to run a lot. So I think we will see severe rotation. Um, Rashford, I think, is the explosive one, but honestly speaking, Rashford and Rogers, I think, are the best picks. And Asensio, I think, will be played more in UCL. That's just my guess. Obviously, like I have no clue, but
Valid point.
based on Asensio is more like he has more European experience overall. But again, all of them will play. I think all matches, and they will see some subs, early subs and stuff. No one pick honestly.
Fair
It's
and
like
striker.
Marsh, Mitoma, and McAllister all again.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. But yeah, like Villa don't score that much, and we'll come to the attacking stats in the next slide, but in the next few slides. But yeah, like they don't have great attacking numbers or ranks, so something to consider here. Yeah, it's a valid
And
point.
there's no hurry for them right now. I think you can
Correct.
maybe have one Villa asset in total and then see how it goes till 33 and get more if you need.
That's true. And strikers, I think everyone and their grandmothers and their grandchildren and their forefathers have taken Marmoush, Isak, and Mateta. The only I was actually struggling to find who else is a possible striker, but yeah, the only one I could see was
Nicholas
definitely.
Jackson.
Oh my god! Don't tell me. I've had him for so long, and he's disappointed so much. But
This is how template it goes honestly. And
he
like
was,
who three best like Mateta, Marmoush, Isak, the three. It just so obvious.
yeah,
Makes
and you
sense.
see,
Like
and again, like people who didn't have, like for me, that was one reason I didn't have any of these because I sold Isak for Haaland last
mm,
game week, and I wanted to buy Mateta anyway. So I thought, okay, I can do a -4 maybe, or just take Mateta and stay silent. But then the rest of the team.
no
So yeah,
man, go for it. Like all of them have good home fixtures. Go for it.
yeah. Okay, so then now with that in mind, these three drafts is what I came up with.
One thing,
Uh,
sorry, on
sure.
if you go back amongst the Crystal Palace assets, let's quickly do like Eze, Sar,
Mhm.
or Munoz. Like either if you had to pick one, obviously Munoz is defender, but I think a lot of people have due to money this sort of choice they need to make either or maybe two. So Mateta, I'm assuming everyone should get like Mateta. I think is
Correct.
the best pick, but after that,
100%.
which one out of the three?
My personal favorites are Mateta, Eze, and Munoz. I know Sar is in form, and I know Sar has delivered well for me in the last 2 3 game weeks. But I still feel that Eze is a because of the kind of play, and he's on pens. So
I think
note
set
that.
set pieces as well. I'm
Correct.
guessing. I'm not
It
sure.
takes a yeah
He
yeah
has
free kicks. He definitely takes, yeah.
more routes to points.
If you have the budget, do Eze because he's roughly about 1 million extra than Sar
Uh,
even now. But if not, then Sar is always a very good option to keep. But
and
yeah,
uh,
Munoz makes sense.
and best second Newcastle asset after Isak.
So this is a very good question. Now I don't see Newcastle keeping that many clean sheets. Hence, I'm like I saw the legendary Krillin's draft yesterday, and he had Burn, and he's a Newcastle fan, so he had Burn and Livramento.
Oh,
I somehow feel, which to me was an eye opener. I'm like, okay, he knows, obviously he knows his team, he knows how is Eddie Howe is setting up. But to
mm.
me, I think Murphy for with a 5 million entry point, considering Gordon will just come in 31, and they don't. And Murphy's been very good, and we look at his numbers again. And I think you shared that in the morning, right? With a stat where he has more um, goal creation chances created for goals than Gordon and only second to Bruno Guimaraes in their team. So that is like astonishingly good numbers, and I feel at 5 million, that's a no-brainer.
At five,
Yeah,
he's a steal. He's like one of those
yeah,
assets when Palmer used to be. Yeah, I won't say that. In fact, no, Palmer was better, but like Palmer at 4.5, that kind.
Yeah. So yeah, so what you shared in the morning, just to kind of reiterate to our listeners and viewers, is that Murphy is second in big chance created for Newcastle, only behind Bruno and Isak and Murphy are tied, and then Gordon is six. So looking at that, I just felt that it makes sense, and with the price, I felt he's the second best for sure.
Cool. Okay. I think for me, yeah, I also Murphy. Murphy, I think, is better than Burn
Instead of a defender, right? Yeah, yeah.
instead of Burn. But I think, yeah, he also saves money. Yeah, I think. And the only other question would be like, is he the best cheap option to go for? Maybe your options might be
Hmm.
um, Rogers or your Fire or your Murphy, or maybe you could go for too cheap. In fact, if you, depends.
You are actually getting onto a very good point because you're going to sell a lot of these Newcastle assets after
Yeah,
33. So who do you keep? Maybe he becomes a like for Rogers if you get in, considering you want Villa. But yeah, that's something to consider. But at least till now, till 33, he
yeah,
makes the most sense.
yeah. After 32, they are disposable, I think.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. So with that sort of mind or like structure again, um, these are the few drafts that we came up with, or I came up with. Um, you see Reyes and all. Martinez is my first option, but I can't afford him with the kind of structure that I'm trying to build. Gabriel is in all, Guardiola is in all, Munoz is in all, and then Livramento Burn is your choice because they're 4.4, 4.5, so you can choose. The differences that I have is if I don't have Martinez, I've taken Konza. I've also taken a double option. I have also rated them on the likelihood. So like the one in the middle here is the one which I'm currently the most keen on. The second one is on the left, which is the second, and the third one with Saka is the least I'm keen on. Again, like we discussed in our pod, that Saka is someone who I want to take in 33, and till then remain with Palmer or even like spread Palmer funds to my defense with a Martinez um, or Saliba option. If I don't do Palmer, the only sort of the way I'm spreading that funds is basically Saliba and Martinez. If I do Palmer, then I have to do Ariola and Konja. And you see Murphy and all, Salah and all, Clivert and all. The only differences there here are Rashford, we Palmer, we uh, Sar, and Mateta, and then uh, and Sar and all as well. Sorry, and the three strikers remain the same. So Mateta, Isak, and Marmoush are in all the three.
Hmm. I
These
think
are the
the
first
center.
targets.
I think the center draft is a but better draft,
Hmm.
definitely. Because in the left draft, basically your difference in midfield is you have Rashford over Palmer, right? Other
Hmm.
than that, mostly your attacking team is the same.
Correct.
And Palmer, you have Tottenham at home, and then you have Ipswich at home. So I think you can hold Palmer for 2 more weeks. Considering again Jackson and Madueke are back, and they've had a break and all that stuff. I would think that yeah, he should come up. These two good home fixtures, his form should come up. At least I would give him 2 more weeks. Other than that, defensively, like solid. Guardiol, Gabriel, Munoz. I think these are your top three. And then if Aston Villa gets a double or an yeah, in your game week 33 bench boost week, you would have a double with Konza as well. And so I think a very solid defense. And maybe in 33, if you really want another doubler, you can move Livramento to somebody else from like one of the double teams. And I think midfield, most of it is again doubling apart from Salah and Murphy. No,
Nope.
no, no. Palmer, Salah,
Palmer
Murphy.
doesn't. Palmer doesn't.
Yeah.
Palmer doesn't. But Palmer might. So Palmer is a 3 game week punt, right? So I'm
Hmm.
going to do Saka to him.
Palmer to Saka. Yeah, Palmer to
Yeah,
Saka in
that's why
33.
that
Oh,
that
that's
slot
perfect.
is empty. Yeah,
That's perfect. And you'll have three transfers. I'm assuming
till that time.
hold
Yeah.
if you hold all of them. Yeah, I think
Correct.
that's solid. Center one makes more sense.
Do you? see a scenario of doing SSR and Mateta and going triple attack Crystal Palace?
You have that right now, right?
No, no,
In the middle
Eze,
one. Oh, Ajay, Sar, and
SSR and
Mateta.
Mateta, and take Munoz out.
Oh, and then okay, so you would do Murphy to Ajay, I'm assuming.
Eze, yeah,
And then how
approximately.
much money would you have
In the
left?
middle one, I think I would have yeah, point one or
Murphy's
point two left.
5.5 and he's how much?
6.7, yeah, yeah. But I have like point 0.5 in the middle one left. So
1.7. 1.7. You would need 1.7 more. How much do you have in the bank?
so in the middle one, in the middle one I have almost 0.2. So I don't have too much in the middle one.
So you would
I'll
need
have to
1.7 for which you'll have to change two players.
downgrade Palmer as well. Yeah, yeah. If in the left one I can do. So the second one,
In the
which
left one,
the
you
one I can do,
there's
yeah.
nothing you can do. But
That
then
one I
in the
have
left one, if you
almost
want to move,
1.6 in the bank because I have Rashford as well.
yeah, yeah. Then you could do Rashford to Morgan Rogers.
Hmm, correct. And do
Because
more.
Rogers is more nailed than Rashford. That I will
That's true.
say. I can say with my hand up. But it's relative. Morgan Rogers does play more games than Rashford. It's a fact.
That is true. So yeah,
But
that's the only like thought process apart from this which I feel is undecided. Other than that, I'm
I think the best things are like two double Arsenal defense. Arsenal in the next 5 game weeks are expected to have the best defensive record. It's
okay.
predicted points wise. So double Arsenal defense I like, and then you have the third slot flexible for Saka as well in future.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
so you're covered on that, and then you have your two best City assets, I think, and you also have Clivert for Ipswich home, which is I think a very that's a good one, honestly. Um, what else? And yeah, Crystal Palace triple up against Southampton away. It's ideal. It's a really nice team.
Quick thought. Third asset for City in 33. Who should that be?
Oh,
In
oh
33
man.
though.
I last week I
Or you want to wait
I
for that?
my trauma from getting Savinho for Bruno.
Oh my god, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he had a good chances as well, man.
He had chances too. It was just a bad game, and still his numbers are the best
Mm,
after a Haaland. But obviously, without Haaland, the team would play differently. That's a fact. So without Haaland, Marmoush's numbers have also been down. In the small sample size that we have, he plays better as a second striker with Haaland. Without Haaland, I don't know how Foden will play and how Sevilla will. So we'll see. So one more game, we'll know more honestly. But it's either like Sevilla or Foden, basically, in my opinion.
okay, let's talk about captaincy for a bit and very quickly while we look at the numbers. For people who have Salah and if they're getting onto a Marmoush or an Isak or even Mateta for that matter, um, who do you think, if not Salah, who should they look at? If people will mostly go Salah, but these are the numbers because you can see Marmoush and Isak are currently predicted to score uh, higher than Salah,
Hmm.
and the fact that you can see Everton are fourth in the last six for goals conceded. I mean, they are a tighter defense.
Hmm.
So, what do you reckon?
Uh,
Is there an option?
like firstly, you shouldn't, but if you really want to go against Salah, uh, my vice captain is Mateta right now, so I would trust him with the armband more than Marmoush right now. Although against Leicester, I do think City will explode. I just don't know how the team plays, like what system, and we'll see. But Marmoush will probably explode, but I would go with Mateta as a more captaincy solid pick.
Fair. Then let me
And
open the.
Palmer also has like if you can also do Palmer. Like Palmer is a fair shout against Tottenham, but that's like very far fetched.
It is fair because the reason why I'm uh, just trying to open our listeners' minds is because I am currently on Mamouche and I'm not on Salah. Well, obviously, I'm chasing, so that's a big reason. But my mind is opened up to Palace. I know Palace have played a FA Cup and they're coming out, but one is they're playing Southampton. Two is uh, They're third on XGC conceded, and they are first on XGC's big chances created and XG non-penalty per 90. And look at the numbers in the last six, like 15.33 chances for 90, big chances 3.67, XG scored and non-penalty 2.38, which is like higher than Brighton and Liverpool as well in the next two spots. So this kind of opened my mind to, and hence your vice captain point of Mateta sort of shining. And if they score 2-3, Mateta would definitely be like he has been someone who's been involved. So
I
I'm keeping
think
an eye.
I think they haven't lost the last 6 away games or something
That's
like that.
correct. Yeah. So yeah, that's one sort of option. So yeah, so my current captain is Marmoush. Again, we saw Opti stats which were very heavily
Hmm.
3 goals for City. So hence that's my Marmoush, if not my second. But obviously this is beyond Salah, and if you feel Salah is the one who's doing well, so Salah should be your safest bet. But then this
Yeah.
is where I stand. Okay, let's go to teams quickly. Arsan, you can talk about this because mine was a wild card. So
Yeah. So I'll quickly walk through mine. I have Fabianski in goal in 0.1% hope that maybe he starts, and I don't want to play Pickford at away at
yeah,
Anfield against Liverpool. So in that 0.1% chance. Anyways, and Gabriel, Kirkes, and Guardiol back. All three have good home fixtures, so looking forward to that. Clivert at home, Savinho, Leicester at home, Salah, Everton at home, Palmer, Tottenham at home. So apart from that, Isak, Brentford at home, and then Visa, Newcastle away. And then my transfer for the week was Wood to Mateta, which I did. I think 2 days ago we got a news that Wood might be out for a couple of months, and
hmm
as soon as that news came out, I did Mateta because the price was dropping for Wood, I think. So yeah, that's my team. And I'll quickly go through Essence. I won't go through his team, but his transfer was also Wood to Mateta this week. So he also did that a couple of days ago. So yeah, that's our team.
quickly,
And
like you're
captaincy. Sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
good, good, good. Sorry, yeah, go ahead, complete your captaincy. Right?
I was just saying that yeah, captaincy. I'm going with Salah and vice captain Mateta.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Quickly, your team and look at the two teams like because you have a wild card and everyone who's watching as well a wild card on the right and the team that Arslan has and hence so much and he's contemplating for not doing a wild card now because it's very similar barring the keeper Gabriel Guardiol Kirkes has a very good fixture against Ipswich so no point selling so Clivert and then Savinho I have Marmoush you have Savinho so two City assets which can be replaced Salah Palmer and you have Visa and I have Marmoush and hence you have
Marmoush.
Isak. So it is
Yeah.
very, very, it's like barely 2 or 3 players and you have Kirkes to, help you with your clean sheet as well. So definitely makes sense to hold on for people who have teams like Arslan or Ehsan and consider not wildcarding now.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And the last, our favorite, which is the FPL EAGLE EYE, the trademark developed by our team. Um, Arslan, you've gone for Saka, unsure
It's
of the
not.
minute.
Yeah, Saka is for me. It's not like this week, but it's like generally just get onto the Saka train as soon as I think you possibly can. And reason being, although shouldn't really trust Arteta's conferences a lot, but he did give a very, very, very green light about Saka, and I think he might be back by the next week. And reason being, obviously Madrid is the priority, but he also needs match fitness, right? It's not just he'll keep playing in the training ground till Madrid. No, he does need match. So I think he might see a 60, 70 minute start next week. And yeah, he's back.
Fair. That's a very valid shot. And then Marmoush and Eze, for me, we've discussed enough about both of them. Eze, because I feel everyone's jumping on Mateta and Sar, and we saw Crystal Palace's stats for even goals, non-penalty XG. So those are our
And
FPL
Eze
Eagle
had
Eye.
a good international break as well. I think his
True.
confidence and form are sort of back, and he has more routes to points. So excellent choice. Shout.
That's that. Hope you everyone liked our wildcard special. Thank you so much for joining us, And if you've been following our content and if you're liking the different perspectives that we bring, all three of us have different teams as well, and now we are going quite separate routes too. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining again.